Hello, everyone. My name is Damir, and I'm a technical manager at Snapic. In today's class, we will be doing an advanced VideoFX timeline editing, as well as manipulating some effects. For this class, I have prepared a template that will showcase all these amazing effects. I haven't created a full template. I've created specific smaller templates that will showcase all these effects. And then at the end, when we are done, we can have a Q&A. And then at that point, you can ask me questions, and then we can create a template. And I can also go over specific details on how to achieve a specific VideoFX effect or how to do something with that specific effect. So I've created an event which only consists of VideoFX. And then we will go over all these templates and the videos that I've created. And from there, we will go over the basics and how to actually create them. So I'm just first going to go and explain what I've done with specific effects. So I'm going to start with ramping up and down effect, which is a little bit more complicated effect because it has a lot of app recordings in order to achieve a proper speed up, speed down, and then speed up, or speed up and then speed down. So you would actually need to use every single speed multiplier. So I will start with 3x, and then I would go all the way to quarter, and then I would go from quarter all the way up to the end. So the way that you would get to the timeline to edit this is you would select a template that you're working on or create a new template. And then you would go to the timeline. You would add, in this case, you would add 13 app recordings. And then each individual app recording will have its own playback range and speed multiplier. So you can see how everything is moving. And this means that it will ramp up to a slow motion, and then it will ramp up to a fast motion. I think that you guys can see it on the video in front of you, but I can play one right here. So you can see it's going very fast and then slows down and then slowly ramps up to very fast. So it's not like immediate where you get, it's going fast, 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 and very slow, and then fast, fast, fast again. This is like a proper ramp. It has like a specific curve. So in order for everybody to understand how this works, I will create a brand new one, which means I'll go create new template, and then we'll go to the timeline, and then it's going to take, but then we'll add all 13 app recordings. This is how I prepare my templates. I actually think about them, and then I see what I need, and then I add additional app recordings just in case I need them. And then I go from there. So now what I usually do is just one app recording open advanced, and I have it set up here. So the first one we will set up from 0 to 9 at 3x. So I'll just drag this from 0 to 0.9 at 3x. So what this will do is this will tell the first app recording video, play this section at 3 times the speed, which means it will play really fast. Then we will go to the second app recording. And what we will do for this one is we will set it to 0.9 to 1.5. So we will start it from 0.9 because this is where app recording 1 ended. And then so that we can have a continuous video, we will just start it from 0.9 and then end it 1.5. And then I will set this one to 2x because it's the next app recording. So it's going to go a little bit slower. And then let's go to number 3. This one will go from 1.5 to 2 seconds. And it will go at 1.5 speed. So it will, again, go a little bit slower in this case. So now we'll go to 4. This one will go from 2 to 2.4. And this one will have 1.25 speed. And then the next one will be 1x, which is just normal speed. And here we will have 2.4 to 2.7. All right, so when we do this and when we connect the beginning of the playback range and the end, that means that from the previous app recording, this one ended on 2.4, it won't have a jump cut. It will just continue it will just continue the original video here. So then the next one, we're going number 6. And this one will be very short at half speed. It will go from 2.7 to 2.8. And then next one will also be a little bit longer because we have that slow motion for a longer time. So we'll have a quarter speed from 2.8 until 3.2. All right, that's great. That's giving me 1.6 length on the app recording, which we can still see here. All right, so next one, let's go to number 8. This one will also go back to half the speed. And it will be from 3.2 to 3.3. Okay, number 9, we can go from 3.3 to 3.6. And then this is on 1x speed, which is the normal speed. And then next one is app recording number 10. This one goes from 3.6 to 4. At 1.25. And then next one we have is number 11. This one will go from 4 to 4.5. And the speed multiplier will be 1.5. And then the next one will go from 4.5 to 5.1. What I didn't make change here, which means inside of the recordings tab, it should be on 6 seconds. So now I can move it to 5.1. And then this one will go 2x. And then the last one will go from 5.1 at 3x. So now we have created a ramping up and down template. So once we generate it, we will be able to see it here. Can you explain how you are coming up with the duration of each app recorded video? Yes, I can. So this is the final template, and you can see how it goes really fast, then it goes slow, and then it will go really fast again towards the end. Because this is like proper ramping up where it actually has like a curve to it. Now, Scott, do you have any background experience in video editing? All right, that's great. So now look at it this way. When you create a new template, you can go to recordings, and this will be the length of the recording of the video, which means iPhone or iPad, whichever device you're recording, will have 6 seconds recording. And then with this 6 seconds, you can edit it on the timeline. And then the playback range represents, so if it's from 0 to 6, the playback range will represent that one recording. That one recording, now we know that it's here, and now we can trim it into shorter recordings, which I'm doing with this exact template, which means I'm creating this lengthy template. But so for example, I'm only using 1 second in this app recording. And then in the second one, I'm using shorter amount, 0.9 to 1.5. Yes, makes sense. But did you do some naturally determine the duration of each clip? Actually, yeah, I done a math on it. I actually created a block of squares, and then I done a ramping up template, and then I put the timing like 0 to 6 seconds, and then I was just tracking to see where it will end up. So you can say that I've done the math for it. So then it actually gave me so that I can set it up as a proper ramp up with the specific speed multipliers that I actually have available. So it's not like a perfect graph, but it's like the best that I can do on this specific type of effect. So I'm not sure if I'm explaining it correctly. Okay, great. So Kelulani, how do I know when this tends to slow it down? Are we editing this to the beat? It's when editing something to the beat, it is very hard to do it to the specific beat. But for example, if you have a beat that's going to go like every half a second, then you can actually calculate that beat so that when you hit the slow motion in the end, this part of the slow motion, like the slowest, what you can do is you can go, this is 0.2, this is 0.3. Okay, that's half a second. This is 0.3, this is 0.3. Now this is like 1.1 second. And then another 0.3, 1.4, and then another 0.3, 1.7. So which means you would need to play with this timing in order to actually get it to hit on the beat. I hope that I'm understanding, explaining that correctly. Kehaulani, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. So I'm not editing this template to any specific beat. I'm actually editing it to look as a professional ramping up and ramping down effect, which means if I preview the timeline, I will not see any, like I'm trying not to see any glitches and parts that would like be either like it's going too slow, then too fast, then changing too fast or something like that. But for this effect, I think that I've gotten like one of the, like a really good effect where it doesn't really have any jumps, where it goes really slow, really fast. I hope that makes sense. Is there a way to make a video overlay outside of making a white layer then black background layer? So video overlay, there is a choice of doing that. What you would need to create is an MOV video that has an alpha transparency layer, which means the video will be transparent by itself. Once this video is created, if you have a Mac, you can go to the resources tab and download VideoFX tool, media tool, which then will be able to convert this MOV file to an MP4 alpha file. This is only available on a Mac, but if you have Windows and you would still like to do the same, you are welcome to contact us on the live support chat, and then you can send us the video and we can convert it for you, and then you can use it when you're ready. Bruno, I think that would be similar answer for you as well. What about animated frames? What format do we use? My recommendation is to always use an MP4 alpha file, which comes from an MOV alpha file. So what I use usually is After Effects, but I've seen people use different type of animations. Now, Jason Jones was asking how to do it without using a mask. I do have a tutorial on how to actually use a mask for your video effects, which means you would add an overlay that is not transparent, and then you would add a mask that will make it transparent, which means the way to do this is you will create, what I do, how I done it is I used Canva. Yes. you can, yeah, exactly. The tutorial that I created is for Canva. So what I done is Canva is now allowing something that they didn't allow before. So when there is an animation in Canva, in most of the cases now you can actually make them white, which is great because that helps with that specific animation to create a mask for it. In order to create a mask, you will need to create on Canva first a colored video or something that is moving. Once you are done creating that colored video, I usually duplicate that frame and then I just make everything black and white. Now, the way to do it is anything that is animated that needs to show as an overlay, you would make it white. And then anything that needs to show as a video, you will make it black, which will make it transparent in that case. All right, I'm going to continue to the next template so that we can see another effects and transition. So the next one is called a fade in video transition. I hope that everybody has checked the video that I sent, but I can quickly play it for everyone here as well. So what I mean by fade in is when the video comes halfway through, you can see how it is transferring from one video to the other video and then as a disappearing effect. So this is an effect that needs a little bit of tinkering to understand how it works, but because I created it and it will be available online, everyone will be able to create it. So let's go from there. So I'm first going to go over the template and show you how it looks like. For this specific one, I've added 2 recordings so that the transition can actually be viewable, because if I only had 1 recording, then the transition, you won't be able to see it because it's the same video going at the same time, so you won't see that effect unless there's a jump cut at some point in which they won't be aligned at the same time. So then you will see the spinning misaligning. So for this specific template, I'd used 1, 2, and 3 recording. And then for the second one, I've used some effects, 1 recording overlay. And then inside of that recording overlay, I have used a color matrix. And then this color matrix, what it does is does that specific fade effect. This is called fade in. And then if I were to change this effect, it would be called fade out. But you can do either or, but it would need adjustment on the timeline. So let's go and create this template from scratch. So I'm going to go create new template. So we'll add 2 recordings as we have done. Then we'll add 3 app recordings. And then for each app recording, we will set it up again, but let's set it up the correct way. So let's do it like this. The first playback range needs to be from 0 to 4. So that was my first mistake. And then the second app recording will be the final part, which is 1 second of the first recording. And then the third one will be from first second here up until the end. So we have that correct now. Now we need a recording overlay. So for the app recording number 2, we will build a custom effect, and then we will add a recording overlay, which will be set to playback range 0 to 1. And then we will add an effect here, which will be the color matrix. Okay, and then for the color matrix, we will add another keyframe, which will have a duration of 1 second here. And then we will need to create this fade in or fade out. Now, the way that this works is you look at the last part and you look for alpha adjustment vector. Now, if we place a 0 here, it will switch off the alpha for the first part of the video, and then it will play back and it will show it back in. Yep. And then it will continue the video. Okay. Let me just double check that. Cool. Recording 2. Okay, we didn't do this. Recording 2. And then inside of the effect, this is the beginning. So we also need to add recording 2. Okay, while this is loading, does anybody have any questions on this one? Yep, that one works like a charm now. Does anybody else have any additional questions for this specific transition? Yeah, okay. Oh, how do you add words on top of the effect? So your question is you would like to add text on as an effect on top of the video, right? The best way is to create a transparent PNG and just put it on as an overlay. Or do you need an animated text? Is there a specific text that you would like to add? You would like to add a timeout text. So do you mean like add the text as the outro, like play the video and then add the text in the afterwards? A timed text. I'm sorry, I'm not understanding a timed text. Oh, yes, or even towards the end of the video. So you are welcome to add a transparent text or just a JPEG image. Now, the way that I usually do this and the way that I would recommend it is now we have created this template and it will go with fading. And then I would add another element. And if you're adding an image, which is a non-video text, you would add the app recorded video. So now for this app recorded video, you don't really need to worry about it. And how long your text is going to be will be determined by this slider here. So at this point, it is 5 seconds. If you need it to be longer, you are welcome to make it longer just by changing the speed multiplier. But as soon as you add here something, I don't think I have any images at this point to add, you will be able to have it as the end of the video, but not for the entire video recording. Yes. Would you like that? Yes, very important. Yeah. So for this example, you would add it only to the end. And this would be a still image. So you would just add it here. And if you have a video, in that case, you would add an element and you would add uploaded video. So then you can just upload your animation that you have with text, something like that. And then you can just play it and it will play as the end of the recording. Now, I did create a template that I will just quickly show you. So let's say 4x4 boomerang logo. So inside of this specific timeline. Okay, so this is the animated overlay for this specific section. So there's 4 videos and then this is spinning in the middle. So let me quickly show everyone how that looks like. So in this case, I'm only adding an overlay with text in the middle of the video, and it's inside of the freeze frame effect. So now this part of the video will freeze, it will show the transition, and then it will continue, and then it will go back to continue to finalize the template. So now on this template, you are welcome to go to this specific effect and just replace that with your own video or your own photo, and then it will show as your own. Does that explain it, Simone, right? You're welcome. Okay. Bruno, I can definitely make another example using a different element. Do you have an element that you would like me to use to show you what it can be done? Bruno, if you would also like, you can raise your hand and you can also speak to me so we can have a conversation. It's going to be easier. Okay, I will continue. Next question is from Andrew Weber. Will you discuss how text is placed in the background of the video. I heard of people using Blender and creating a virtual dome structure and placing text on the wall to be viewed as the camera spins around. If that is too much for this session, I'll love a reference. Oh, 100%. This is something that I've created last year with the bubbles effect. And I have ordered it from a person that actually does After Effects, but I'm sure it can also be done in Blender. Now, I am not as proficient in any of those two softwares to be able to create a 360 environment and export a video. I did start learning Blender, but it's more complicated than After Effects. So I am hoping that one time in the future, I will have actually a tutorial and an actual file that we will be able to give our clients, depending on how hard it is to add that background and export it. So that will all need to come from me being able to make it as simple as possible as you just adding an image and exporting a file. I hope that makes sense, Andrew. Oh, thank you. Blender is extremely difficult, but I think that for what we need it for, it will actually not be as hard as long as I can create that specific template. So what I've done is if you go to the template library and then go to advanced, there's bubbles and there's confetti and there's rain. So all of this is made in a simple, in the same way, with the 3D environment, and then you can see the bubbles are going and disappearing behind people and then staying in front of them on the front side. So this is fairly the same effect. It's just not using the rockets like this year's PBX. So this year's PBX, we had this one and this one. So this was done in Blender. Now I wouldn't know how to do this in Blender because this is a lot of 3D effects floating around. I did start and I know how to use the 3D environment, but this is actually placing 3D elements on that 3D environment, placing a camera and then telling that camera to spin at specific speed and then export that specific video with the background. So yeah, I hope that Andrew, that explains the process of 3D editing, but yeah. Yeah, no problem. So you would have to spin your 360 in one direction only, is that right? Well, if you would like to spin it in both directions, then you would need to create two templates, one spinning one direction and the other one spinning in the other direction, which means you would need to export from Blender or After Effects, camera rotating one way or camera rotating the other way. Now, the length of that rotation is usually, I recommend that the arm of the boot spins anywhere between 3 and 4 seconds per one rotation. So that for a recording of 6 to 8 seconds, you can have at least about 1.5 to 2 circles so that it can catch all the guests on the 360 boot. So the way that I calculate that rotation is just like that. Like I have my recordings that I requested from the team to export as close as to 4 seconds per rotation. So when I edit my templates, I actually work on that number. Yep, got it. Thanks. Good insight. Oh, great. Joseph, there is an article also that I created for the bubbles template that actually explains how to set up your photo booth for the bubbles template, and it explains that the 4-second rotation. But yeah, you're welcome. Jason, I used Canva background removal. I used Canva background removal on a video and created a similar effect, but it wasn't as clean. But with what you mentioned above the MOV file, I might be able to create a cleaner floating objects. So the best way to export anything from Canva is not to do like a transparency effect, but to actually do the masking effect, because it will create a seamless, you won't have any cutouts or anything showing, and it will create really good transparency. So it will work great if you learn how to create a mask on Canva. So you won't be able to see anything in that case. But yeah, does anybody have any additional questions on this one? And okay, so last question, Andrew Weber. Bruno, I haven't seen you reply to the question. I'm not sure if you're still here. You said, could you make another example using a different element? I sure can. I just need to know what element do you need so that I can actually check that out. Can you repeat the optimal time for the arm should orbit the platform per spin? So my suggested spins is 3 seconds to 4 seconds per rotation. And the way that I do that, it depends on the booth, but I know that Orcavu is around 60% for that spin. Yep, you're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna pass to the next effect that I've prepared. And this will be a slide in transition. So it will be similar as a fade in transition at this point, but we will just create a slide in transition. And slide in transition also works great with 2 app recordings, but you are also welcome to use 1 app recording when testing it. So this is the slide in and out transition. And then we can see it here, and you'll be able to see that one video will go and the other one will follow next to each other like that. Yep. Perfect. All right, so in this case, inside of the recordings, we have 2 recordings. And then on the timeline, we again have 1, 2, and 3 app recorded videos. They are set up in a similar way as the previous template, except for this one, the playback range on the second app recorded, instead of being in the end and following the first app recorded video, it's going to be in the beginning following the second app recording. So let's create this template from scratch. So create new template, then we'll go into recordings. For here, we'll add just another recording. And then on the timeline, we will add 3 recording elements, app recording elements. And then we will set this up. One moment. Okay. So the first app recorded will be 0 to 4. And then the second app recording will be 0 to 1. And then the last one will be 1 to 5. And then the last one will also be a recording number 2. Now, because we are doing a specific transition, the second app recorded video for this specific one is actually, it doesn't matter the playback range on the master one, but once you go into the effects, in this case, we will add 2 recording overlays. And then the first layer, which you can see as the bottom layer. So the way that we have created it, you have 1, 2, 3. It works like a Photoshop. So you just slap layers on top of each other. And then the first recording overlay will go from 0 to 1. I'll push this here. And then the last one, the top layer will go for the last part, 4 to 5. And then for both effects, we would need to add an effect that I started with in the beginning, which will be a frame adjustment. And then for the first frame adjustment, we will set it up so that it transitions in. So we would, when we play this, we need to see the video come in from the left side and then push into the right side. So what we will do is we will just add the width of the video to the X. So in this case, you have the video coming in. So we can save this one. And then in the second one, because it's fading out, it's going away, we will add this frame adjustment, but instead of bringing it in from the right side, we will tell it to go minus on the left side. But we would need to do it the other way around. So this one is 0, and then this one will be the fade out. So there we go. And now we have one coming in and one going out, and they will actually do it at the same time. And then we also need to be careful to set here the animation duration to 1 second, unless you're creating something shorter. In case you're creating something shorter, then this playback range will need to be shorter, as well as this main playback range will need to match the effect playback range. So in this case, we can go and we can process this and we can see how it looks like, and if we have created it correctly. Yep. Okay, I see what I forgot. So in this case, inside of the app recording video, I forgot to tell it that the bottom one is actually a recording number 2. So now, once we preview, it should be okay. Okay, there we go. It's perfect. Okay, that will be for this effect. Now, Sean Dennard, I don't know if you answered this, but have you added any new effects since PBX? Templates or effects? I'm not sure which part you're asking about, because effects are per app recording and templates also have effects. So I'm not sure which part you're asking about, but since PBX, we did add the 360 segmentation, fun 3D icons, and then space 3D icons. And then I've been adding some random templates, which is 4-up variations, and then for-informed logo, and I've added Glambot templates, which are just a speed ramp which goes really slow, or all right. And then I wanted to go over some basic effects that we can add to our template. And those basic effects will consist of, let's say, AI segmentation, and then adding different effects to the background, to the foreground, and how everything will look like. So I will start with building a custom effect. So it's just a brand new template that I'm working with here. So basic effects. I only added one recording, which is 5 seconds, just for a quick preview and quick render time. So we'll go into, we added one app recording video, build a custom effect, add effect. In this case, I will add AI segmentation because it's one of the most popular effects that I know of. So for this example, I wanted to showcase that with a little bit of creativity, you can create your own AI FX video. So let's do it like this. Let's build custom effect, add effect, and then for the background, we can add ink. And I will leave it as a black and white. And then click save. And then after masking, which will only apply the effect on the user, on the guest, we will add the cartoon comic. There it is. So comic, edit, and then save, and then we can preview the timeline. So in this case, you can see that we have created a comic effect for this specific template, which looks great. Now you can play with this around and you can change front and back effects after masking and before masking. And then, for example, we can change the colors of the background, or we can add different effects. So let's say for the background, we can add an overlay library. Why not? And then let's get cash. Okay, so now we have added this cache. This is the effect. It will play and there will be money falling from the side. It just takes a little bit to start, so we'll move it there. So I'll just push it to about 5 seconds start. And then on top of this effect, I will add ink effect, actually, so to see how it looks like. So let's save that and preview this. Okay, and start this. Now you can see even the money is actually catching this ink effect and falling down, which is great. So in this case, we can actually tell ink to change the edge color and the background color. So let's say the edge color, we can make it green. And save, and then preview that one. There you go. We added a green background. Thank you, everyone, for joining in on this class about effects. If you guys have any questions, let me know. You can also jump on and start your mic if you would like to have a conversation or have some questions, have some additional questions. But yeah, let me know. Thank you, guys. I hope that the class explained some basics about the effects, because the way that I call SnapX VideoFX Builder is an alternative to After Effects, which means you can fairly do anything that's inside of the After Effects. You're welcome. Okay. Simone, how do I add a microsite after my event has ended? So for your microsite, you would just go to the event, then access the event options, and you will see microsite there. You just select it and that will enable it. Okay.
Hi, Damir. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I know
Simone.
this is Simone. This is not for this, but I've been trying to do it because I did email your colleagues and they told me to do it. But every time I go into the event and I select a microsite, it tells me I'm going to lose all of my options. So my previous option, my original options that I set up in the event. So that makes me nervous. So I thought I'd just ask you.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You could just add the microsite, nothing will change.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Will trainings be on the SnapPick website or later to view? This training will be on the YouTube channel and it will be available in, I hope, a day or two. I just need to review the video and just edit some parts that are not needed for the YouTube. Yes, is it possible? Yes, it is possible to add a background to the video. You can either use a green screen or you can use the AI segmentation. The way that you would add it with AI segmentation would be, you would add AI segmentation, and then this is the background effects. And then under background effects, you can build a custom effect and you would select overlay. I know it's counterintuitive, but it will become a background because it's a background effect. Then you can upload an image right here. In case you need a better tutorial on how to upload a background, just send us a message on the live support chat. We actually have a step-by-step article on how to actually do it. And it will also depend. If it's a static overlay, then it's very simple. If it's an animated overlay, then it becomes a little bit more complicated because now you would need to see how long your app recordings are. It's not a problem, Simone. It's not hard also. It's like just needs tinkering. But the static background is very simple because you just add it as AI segmentation. And then I do have a note for anyone that's using the builder at this point. If you're creating an effect, for example, let me just cancel this. So let's say you created an effect and you really love it, and then you can just name it best one or anything you like. Then you can save effect to the library. Once this specific effect is saved, once you add multiple elements, you don't need to recreate the whole effect from scratch. You can just click the library, save effects, and then under saved, you can see I have too many. Best one would be under B. There you go. And then once we add that effect, that's the same effect on the next page. So if you're adding a background, instead of just segmentation overlay background, you can just add the background and then just add the effect to all the videos. I hope that answers your question, Simone. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Oh, there's another question. Okay, yes, I'm wondering, can you do it after it has been recorded? I'm wondering, do it after. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, no, you couldn't. So once the videos are done and the event is finished, you cannot add a background to it. That would be too complicated. You would actually need to use an external software. In your case, you would probably use either a Premiere Pro or After Effects. And I'm sure they should have by now some add-ons or effect add-ons where it would actually remove the background. I haven't tried doing that, but I'm sure in that way it is possible. But actually, we have released something new. It would be too complicated if you would need to do it for every single video. But if you would need to only do it for a couple of videos, what you can do is when previewing the timeline, you can upload a custom video. I have a couple of tests here that I've added, but you can download a video from your event. You can add it here. The only thing is that you won't be able to do this with slow motion recordings because the way that they are exported either at 30 or 60 frames. So you will have like glitching videos happening there. The sample templates, do you mean the ones that I've created today, Lolita? I don't think that I will release them as effects, as they would just need to be customly added to any video. But as there is interest, as you have shared this, what I will try and do, I will try and speak to the team to create a new template library box, which I would just call effects. And then people can just go to this, select an effect, and then build on top of that specific effect. I hope that makes sense.
Thanks, Damir. So I just want to make sure that I'm leaving clear. So when I'm building a new video template and I want to block out the original live background, I would put up a green screen and then add that to my, and then add my overlay so that when I record the 360 video, I won't have the live background. I'll have whatever picture I want in the background for it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are
you
thinking,
planning to use an official green screen, or are you planning to use AI segmentation?
I think the AI segmentation, because I don't have the green, because I wouldn't, because when I start going to the events, I won't know what space I'll have. And so
Okay.
I would have to, so I was wondering, when I was first working in SnapPick, I thought the green screen was only for the traditional photo booth. So I didn't think I could use that. But now talking to you, it sounds like I can if I set it up correctly. That way, for example, I just did some overlays for birthdays this weekend. And I just did a transparent, but the overlays are there, but you can still see the environment that the video is being taken. And so I
Okay,
was
so
wondering for the future how to not have that.
okay, I understand what you're asking. So AI segmentation is, you can use it. The only problem when it comes to the AI segmentation that I can advise on is, let me just think about it. If you have, for example, you can see this is Zoom and I'm using a virtual background here.
Yeah.
If I could have somebody step in, their face would show, right?
Right.
So if you have people that are a little bit further away, they may start glitching inside of the template. So you will still see them, but you won't really see the environment, but you will see here and there a head if they are closer
Okay.
than needed.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense unless I tell my guests to stand back a certain distance so that they wouldn't be picked up while the arm is spinning.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the distance is because the
Yeah.
segmentation works quite well. But
Okay,
it's good
okay,
to test.
okay. All
Yeah,
right, well, thank you. This was helpful.
thank you very much, Simone. Yes. Okay. Jason, can you say more about the custom video? Can you say? I'm sorry, Jason. I'm not sure which custom video would you like me to take a look at? You notice it will pick up people. Okay, when previewing. Say more about the custom. Oh, more about the custom video, that video. Okay, cool. Yes, I can. I got it now. So what we have created recently is, so for custom uploaded videos, the way that I would go about it is I would use an iPhone because it can record up to 240 frames per second. And I would record videos when I have a chance, like I went at the venue looks amazing. I would just open an iPhone camera, set it to 1080p and 240 recording, and record about a 10-second video. You can record a couple of them with different people, for example. And then you can use those videos because they have a slow motion. You can upload them as presets. And then you have a new VideoFX preview recordings here, which you can upload your own videos here. So I uploaded a couple just as a test. And then once you upload those videos, you can upload up to 10 custom recordings, and then you can delete them and add new ones if needed. Then you would go to your events. And then once you're in the VideoFX template, you can go to timeline, preview, and then custom. And then from here, you can select custom videos. I'm going to select a video that I have that's slow motion. And then I'll generate a preview from a random video that I've added to my dashboard. So it's just a random video, a private video that you can upload for your previews. Let me know if this makes sense, Jason. If you unmute yourself,
Okay.
Yes, hi.
Yeah. So is that video, the people are not actually in the video, it's just the background that you were able to put up of your own? Is that what I'm understanding?
No, it's just a personal video. Like I
Okay.
go to the venue, record a video and upload it, and then I can just work with it.
Oh, okay. So you can like put that as the sample video or something like that. Is that what you mean? Is that what this?
Correct.
Okay.
You are very correct. So instead of using a Snappic video to generate a video, what we do is we do a 360 recording with the gentleman, and then download that video, and then I go to the master settings, and you can see him, he's right here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my preview. But if you have a custom video, you can now customize this preview with your own personal video.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
Because you can also generate it with the effects and overlays and everything. So it makes sense to, like, I've seen as soon as we released it, I've seen like a couple of users like, great, thank you very much. We wanted this forever. But yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good, because what I would end up doing is going to my microsite, downloading one of the first participants,
Oh.
and then having to chop the video down because the size didn't fit.
So my recommendation, I'm gonna send this on the chat line. It's this website. I'm not sure if you can see it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very easy to use, and I use it because when I upload a file, let me just see if I have a random video. No, I don't. Okay, so now it's an MP4, it's under 10 megabytes because I converted it already. But what I do is just advanced settings, and then you can select target size in megabytes.
Okay.
And then because the maximum is 10 megabytes, I would just set it 10, apply settings, and compress. And then you have a full length video in 10 seconds. I mean, for the preview, under 10 megabytes.
Gotcha. Thank you. Yes, I will use that, because that will save me a lot of time.
Yeah. That's what I use.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No worries. Okay. Uganda. Can you add Dropbox to an event after the event is ended? Will the videos go there? Unfortunately not. You will need to request a zip file, go to your Dropbox, create the Dropbox, and then upload the videos. Is there any reason why you would like to upload the videos to the Dropbox after the event?
Yes, I was asking because I recently had an event, I think it was on Friday, and I noticed that I forgot to add the Dropbox. And I went in to do it, I think yesterday, when I noticed that it wasn't there. Well, when I went to Dropbox and didn't see them. So that's the reason why I was asking that question.
Okay. Yeah, adding anything post-event will not affect the event that has finished. So for example, if you need at this point to transfer the videos to Dropbox, you would need to manually download the zip file, unzip it, and then transfer the videos. But that's why I'm asking, are you just using a Dropbox as a backup space for your videos, or are you using Dropbox as a link to send to the client?
I'm using it as a link to send to my clients, but I download them. I have another site that I use. But I mean, I know that we have I do have the microsite set up for them, but I also like to save them for future marketing and advertising.
Okay, I understand that. So in this case, what I can say is Snapic keeps all the data on your event for 2 years. And then if you would like to send your client, like for example, in this case, and you need to send the client, so instead of sending a Dropbox link, you can just go into download captured files on the event and request videos, and then just send it via email. In this case, it will send a link to the zip folder, which client would then download from their computer, and then you'll have all the videos. I hope that makes sense.
Makes perfectly good sense. I wish I would have thought about that, or even asked that question like last year. Thank you.
Not a problem. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for attending the class. And I hope to see you on the next one.